dedicated follower of fashion by the Kinks. Molly Bell's here, the Reverend Chris Rattenbury as well, the Vicar of St Peter's in Ravenshead, and Philip Jones as well. They are our village people of this afternoon. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Shaking your head and looking bemused by the prospect of trying to work out what the year was. There was nobody there looking confident of what year it was.
We've just had a conversation and none of us are quite sure what year anything happened, so please don't ask us anything like that.
Are you aware what year it is now?
We're just about there with that one, yes. 2000 and, let me think,
yes.
What, 11.
Okay, well, that's all you need to know. That's as much as you need to know. Now, you're all from Ravenshead. You're our village people for this afternoon, as I mentioned. Now, Ravenshead is somewhere that I sort of go through quite a lot. Drive up to Mansfield on the A60, see a sign that says, welcome to Ravenshead, and then I'm through a set of traffic lights, and then I'm gone. So what am I missing? What am I missing as I drive through Ravenshead and never actually go in there to see it? Tell me, sell me Ravenshead.
Well, Ravenshead's a brilliant place to live. We have superb gardens, beautiful in the springtime, and our facilities are also second to none.
Oh, wow. Second to none. That's quite a claim, you know, Molly.
It is, yes, and I think it could be substantiated.
Okay. How do you know the gardens are so good? Do you all kind of go around and look in each other's gardens quite regularly?
They are quite easy to spot. Most people have a front garden and the spring flowers are superb.
Now, there's a thing, you see. Is your front garden nicer than your back garden? Because the front garden's the one for show, but the back garden's the one that you keep for yourself. What about you guys? Does more effort go on the front or the back? That's the question.
I haven't got a front garden. There you go. A front garden, really. It's just behind the church. I've got a back garden, but it's looking a bit of a mess at the moment.
Well, no one can see it, so it's fine.
Yeah. I used to drive. I've spent most of my adult life either living in Nottingham and working in Mansfield, or living in Mansfield and working in Nottingham.
Yeah.
So I spent my whole adult life going past Ravenshead. And it was only 5.5 years ago, when I was asked to go and look at the parish to take it on, that I actually went and discovered all that there was behind the big houses on Nottingham Road. It is a terrific place, Ravenshead. I think the main thing about it is the way the community operates. It's got a really good community feel. There's lots happening, and Molly actually is behind a lot of what happens.
You find that, I suppose, a little bit more in village life, don't you? That kind of community sense, people knowing each other and knowing what the gardens are like and all sorts. You know everything about each other.
Well, we don't know everything about each other, but I think there are a lot of people in Ravenshead who are very happy to volunteer to help. And there are a lot of older people in Ravenshead these days, and we find that that we want to look after them, make sure that they're not isolated, make sure they've got the opportunity to get out, that they've got good things to do, that there are people around to help them if they're stuck with things. And so over the last few years we have a good neighbour scheme called Ravenshead Ready Call that I coordinate, where there's about 50 volunteers who are able to help people with transport if they can't get to the doctors, to get the hair done, get to hospital appointments, all that sort of thing. We have a day centre in Ravenshead that operates as the Cornwater Club and the Thursday Club, where people can go and have a really pleasant day, good home-cooked meal, activities, company, and that operates 3 days a week, with the Thursday Club operating, obviously, on a Thursday. There's
good
just
name
lots
for it, then,
of things. It is a good name. Yes, it's an excellent name. We thought that was a really good idea.
It took you a while to come up with that, I suppose. A bit like Sheffield Wednesday, the football club that were formed on a Wednesday, and that's how they came up with the name. And supposedly, I don't know if this is an old wives' tale, but apparently the Ford Focus got its name after Ford held a big Focus meeting and went, well, let's call it a Ford Focus. I don't know if that's true or not. I can't back that up at all. It might.
I'm sorry, there may be people in Ravenshead who know about Ford Focus, but not us.
Not you. Okay, is this the thing about it, Philip? Do you find that that everybody's kind of there for each other? Do you talk a lot with your neighbours? Is it that kind of village?
Yes, I mean, the shopping precinct is a good meeting place, especially on a Saturday. You can catch up with news with people that you haven't seen all week and people you haven't seen for even longer than that.
Yeah.
We've got a good range of shops, and we've got a library, and we've got all the different shops you need, greengrocers, deli, chemists.
What about the people, though? As you're going into those shops, do you find that you just chat to each other quite a lot?
Yes, you find you chat quite a lot to people, and as I say, people you haven't seen for a long time. You just sort of, perhaps going there just for one or two things to buy, you find a couple of hours later you're still there chatting to people you haven't seen for such a long time.
Yeah.
But it's a great meeting place.
Yeah, that's the good thing about.
Of course, if you haven't stopped off in Ravenshead, you perhaps ought to stop off in one of our pubs, we've got at least 2 historic pubs, the Larch Farm pub restaurant and the Hut. They're both historic buildings, because I'm the historian for Ravenshead.
I have actually been to both of those.
Have
Yeah,
you?
you see, you look at me there as if you go, I thought you
Well,
might.
you said you
have
hadn't
done.
stopped off in Ravenshead.
If you were going to know anything about this area, it was that look in your eyes you said there, Philip. But no, I have. So I told a lie before. I obviously have been to Ravenshead, but the Gats they're on the A60 though, aren't they? They're
That's
on their
right,
way
yes.
up, and
They're nevertheless part of the community and part of the history of the place as well.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got a great history, which is what I'm particularly interested in, although most of the development in the village started after the Second World War, from the 1950s onwards. And
Has it changed a lot then in that time?
it's changed a lot, yes. I've tried to recapture some of it in a book I've written recently called Turning Back the Pages in Ravenshead. And if anybody wants a copy, the post office at Ravenshead is selling copies, and you know, it just charts the development of the village in photographs right from the 1950s right into the present
I always
day.
like looking at old photos, don't you? You know, when you go into like libraries or whatever, and they have old black and white pictures, and you think, at first you think, oh, I don't know where that is, and then the more you look at it, you think, oh, I know that.
Yeah.
You know, there's something just, I think, in all of us that's quite, you know, you like seeing all that stuff, you know?
People like to see, you know, how it's changed, and also there's a wonderful aerial photograph in the middle of the book, and you know, showing in that how it was in 1972, and people like to look at that to see, you know, whether their house was built or whether it's
Molly'd like that. You can see into the gardens, so she'd be she'd be quite happy. Okay, we'll talk more in just a moment. 22 minutes past 3 now on BBC Radio Nottingham. News headlines, recap of the travel and weather on the way. Girl in the world. 25 past 3. David Jackson on BBC Radio Nottingham with Molly, with Philip, and with the Reverend Chris Rattenbury as well, who are all here from Ravenshead. They're our village people for this afternoon. Philip, this is your book that you produced. I like the advert on the back, which is for the opening of Wilbourn's supermarket. You can get a giant-sized aerial for 19 pence. It's also got the old money in brackets still, hasn't it? So what year is that from then? That's roughly 71. Actually, from 71.
When decimalisation came in,
Yeah, so it's still got the 2. I never understand. I mean, I don't remember the turn from you know, into decimalisation, but it just seems so much easier now.
Yeah.
And yet, people found it difficult at the time to convert the 2.
We did at the time, yes.
And yet, if it was
surprising how the prices went dramatically up as well. I think when we converted from pounds to
you-
decimalisation.
You get that still now, though, don't
Yes.
you? You get that now. Oh, well, now you buy 100 grams of sweets and not a quarter of sweets, but the prices stay the same.
Yeah.
And you get ever slightly less. It
Yeah.
always works that way round, doesn't
Yes.
it? Always works that way round. So we're talking about Ravenshead today, then, and it's interesting that you were talking before, Molly, about the sort of support network around Ravenshead. And it must be one of the only villages that's got its own little bus doing a circular route.
We have 2 village buses, and they are absolutely brilliant. They're 16-seater, totally accessible buses, and 2 mornings a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. They do a route round the village, which arrives at the shops every half an hour, passes the surgery several times, and it's possible for people to stand outside their house if they live on the route and just wave at the bus, and they get transport round the village, takes them up to the shopping precinct, goes past the surgery round to wherever they need to go and back home. Just a brilliant service. The bus is also used to take members of the Cornwater Club and the Thursday Club down to the Scout headquarters where they meet these 4 days a week. Their transport is provided on these village buses. It's also available for outings. They do shopping trips. It's used by the Ravenshead Travel Club that takes people further afield out for the day. They're just excellent buses to help people to do all sorts of things that they actually wouldn't be able to do if it wasn't for them.
When you're from Ravenshead, where do you go to do your other shopping that you need to go to a big town or so? Do you go into Mansfield or do you go into Nottingham? Which way do you go? Philip, which way do you go?
I go to Hucknall because it's
Oh yeah, that's not too far, is it?
not too far. I mean, we've got Hucknall, Mansfield and Sutton and Ashfield. They're all about equidistant from Ravenshead.
Yeah.
So we've got quite a choice as to which of those you go into. Nottingham's about twice as far.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah.
But it's a bigger city, I suppose.
Yeah.
So you kind of get. What about you, Chris? Which way do you go? Because you're in a really neat little position there, aren't you? You know.
Yeah, all of the above. I suppose mainly Mansfield,
Yeah.
but Nottingham for the bigger range of shops and facilities and football clubs.
Yeah. Because that's the thing about village life, I think, that people often say, I'd love to live in a village, but I'd have to live in one that's near a town or near a big city. And I think I hear a lot of people kind of say that. They don't want to be too isolated out in the middle of nowhere, but you get the best of both worlds if you're in somewhere like Ravenshead.
You do. It's ideal because we can reach the big city or other small towns, and we can still live in the wonderful community that Ravenshead is.
So how much do you guys think you know about Ravenshead?
None of us are rushing, are we? But
You're looking at me scared, as if I might do something horrific, like give you a quiz.
Well, you might.
yeah, that would be horrific. But we know a
History,
bit.
yes.
Yeah. So I've got
I'll
a quiz
leave
for
Molly
you.
to
So I've got a little quiz for you.
a little quiz.
Okay.
Yeah. Look at the fear in the
Multiple
eyes.
choice.
You can smell the fear here. I wonder if you know. I think. Well, I mean, I don't know, but I think Philip might have more of a chance on these. You're trying to get some notes out there. I might hear a bit of rustling. Then I thought you might kind of get some notes, get the book to hand. No cheating.
Just in
no
case he
cheating.
asks me about the book again.
It's only 3 questions. Just a bit of fun. You're not going to be, vilified by the residents of Ravenshead when you get back. Don't worry. So, question 1 for you then. Famous inhabitants have included Berkeley Littlewood, the plagiarism entrepreneur, millionaire who appeared in the Sunday Times Rich List, thrash band Lawnmower Death, who went off to support A Bullet for My Valentine, and Nick Sharratt, the children's author and illustrator, who went to Abbeygate School. You'd like a question on him, says Philip. I'd like a question on him. Name 2 famous authors that whose books Nick has illustrated.
I didn't know he'd illustrated any, sorry.
Any ideas? Go on, have a
Molly.
guess. Have a guess. Go on,
Children's
go on.
authors.
They're children's. He was a children's author and illustrator. So he's illustrated then books of other people. Any idea? Think of a really famous children's writer. That'll help. Blank looks all round. You see, I could have given you Jacqueline Wilson.
You could.
I could have given you Jacqueline Wilson. Could have given you Michael Rosen.
Alright.
Very sort of.
No,
Never mind.
sorry.
Never mind. There's no way you'll get the exact answer here, so I'll accept a little bit of leeway. It's census time, of course.
Yes.
To the nearest 100 or so, what was the population of Ravenshead at the last count? He's looking for his notes. I can see him. I can see him going.
At the last census, which was 2001,
Yeah.
the population was 5,636.
Hey, very good.
We're so pleased you came, Philip.
Have you just remembered that number, or was that a complete guess?
I've just looked in the
You
book.
just looked in the book. I knew you had. What was found in the building site near Camborne Gardens in 1966? Go on.
Go on, Molly.
Oh, that was the this amazing hoard.
The Fishpool Gold
Fish,
Hoard.
yes,
Hoard.
Fishpool
Fishpool Gold
hoard.
Hoard.
Now you see that you've done well. That's 2 out of 3, and you know what Meatloaf said about that?
Not bad.
2 out of 3 ain't bad. Yeah, you've done well there. That's not that you much better than other people have done. So thank you very much for coming in. I've got to say, village life in Ravenshead sounds like you all love it.
We do.
Yes.
Yeah, we do.
We recommend it.
Recommend it to anyone. You see.
Yes.
I've lived there most of my life, so it must be good.
Must be good. You've still never left. Did you ever go anywhere else and come back?
Yes,
it
I went to
the pool-
university. I've lived there 53 years.
Right, and
But I've been off to university,
And
and I worked for a short period down south as well.
the pool was too much for you
It was.
to come back
Yeah.
to Ravenshead. Can't blame you.
Great village. Yeah.
Very nice place. Thanks very much for coming in. Well done on the quiz, despite me not even telling you that it was going to be on, which was rather naughty of me. I'm very, very sorry about that. You can blame Mickey. She's when you go out and speak to Mickey, the producer, have a word with her. She's her idea. Okay, thanks very much for coming in to all of you. Our village people from Ravenshead this afternoon, just gone 3:30 now. News on BBC Radio Nottingham.